Are we going?
We are
Yes.
live. Hello, Anne Lewis from the Sunshine Coast. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Christine. How are
Good.
you?
I am excellent. A little slap happy. It's the end of the day for me.
It's the start of the day for me, as you probably, well, relatively the start of the day, and I've got to apologise for some banging because the fence is getting repaired outside the craft room window.
I haven't heard it in a while, so I think you're good. So let's see. I just got notification. We are live on YouTube, so that is good. Once somebody comes on and watching us, let us know that you can hear us because we had a little technical difficulties getting the volume working. So let us know that you can hear us. Let us know that you are there. Oh, Mary Lou's first one there. Hello, Mary Lou. Awesome. And so we want to know who's watching with us. So definitely as you come on, say hello. Excellent. Okay, Mary Lou can hear us. And say something so Mary Lou can hear you too.
Hi, Mary Lou, how are you? And just so that we can confess before you all read it, yes, we did have a few issues with technology, and you can see them in our comments. Every day is a different day of something we have to sort out a little
Yes.
better, but that's okay. And
But
hi
Annie's,
Annie as
yep,
well.
and she can hear. And that, so one is on YouTube and one is Facebook. So we are good. Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
excellent
Awesome.
because as we know, there's a 10-second delay, so it does take us 10 seconds to catch up with wherever you may be. Got a long
I
way to
didn't,
travel, Christine.
yeah, I didn't realize it was 10 seconds. That's a long time.
Yeah. IDO, do you want to go? We didn't talk about
Yeah.
this, but
No, we didn't. So we should probably chat for a few minutes or for a few little bits just to let people get on to make sure that we're here. Karen is here. She can hear us from Iowa. Awesome. All right. So we are doing projects. I say projects because I don't know if we're doing cards or something else. From the, I think it's, we called it the wrong thing. I think it's called the Garden Meadow bundle.
yes,
But you are
I
doing
led,
something
led
from
you
the
astray.
Meandering Meadow suite, but it's all the same thing. It's all in the same um, suite. So,
Well,
yeah. So
I was probably trying to hide that I'd snuck in some of the DSP here without telling you.
that's okay. It's so beautiful that you really should sneak it in. I did not, but I'm glad you did because it's really pretty. All right. So it's oh, all right. So do you want to go? Who went first last time? Me or you? I don't remember.
I went first last time. It's your turn to go first, if that's okay with you.
Yes. So all right. Let me. Um,
And I
yep.
don't want to scare you yet, but I
Okay.
do have four projects to share with people today. Just thought I'd mention that.
Well, if we are competitive,
If
I
we
think
were,
I think I haven't counted, but I think I have like 7 plus.
here I
How's
am,
that?
thought I was going to win. I mean, show lots. It's not about winning, we know
Nope.
that.
Nope, 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 nope. All right. So we are using the oh, we'll have to show your dies. I don't even think I brought my dies up because I'm not even using them. I am only using the stamp sets. How's that? So Anne will show
Ah,
you the
rightio. I look forward to it.
Anne will show you the dies when it's her turn. But we're
Righto.
using the stamp set, and it is found on the online exclusives section of the store. It is not in the catalog, but they are now releasing lots of awesome products in the online exclusive, so it's important to check out that. Uh, okay, I was just reading what Karen wrote, but I'll let you do the comments. So first,
Rightio.
I'm gonna show you what I'm not doing. I started out with an idea of get this. So I was sent this Christmas card. We did a team swap. So Val Mason made this card and I loved it. And so I was trying to figure out how to do it with the dies and stuff. So you open it up and then this swings out like that.
Ah, it is gorgeous.
Isn't that awesome? And so I will do something with it later. So I was trying to figure out how to do it with um, the dies and the flowers. So I kind of came up with like that, right? And so I was going to put the fence here, and then I was going to put thinking of you here, And I said, well, I don't know if I like the white, so I was going to do it in yellow, and it was just too busy, and I was trying hard. Like it just wasn't coming together, and I know it will, but it just wasn't. So I scrapped that
I love
idea.
that card, and
I
you'll understand why
I
soon.
have a feeling because I saw a sneak peek of yours. um, when I first saw this stamp set, I actually thought of simple cards, like simple cards. So I was going from that. I said, go back to what you originally thought. So this is what I have.
So Mary Lou has said, I like your first try, Christine. And Karen says, I
Thank
have made this fun card before, Christine.
Thank you. And I will make it again. I was forcing something, I just couldn't make it work. So what I came up with, and I'm going to show you how to make these envelopes. So
Love them.
inside the envelope are cards and envelopes. So this is what so I'm going to show you each one, but I'm going to make this one. I don't know, there's Wink of Stella on the boots. I don't know if you can see it. But I really went simple. So I liked using a lot of the white space. So that's the inside for that one. This one has half the wheelbarrow and the other half's on the inside. And this one I did little cute little chickens, and I just drew a line and flowers on the inside. And then this one I did the watering can, and I drew some water droplets and did some tools inside. And that one's just a wheelbarrow. And then the envelope. So those all fit in the small envelope that I will show you how to put together. But oh, I didn't even tell you what I'm using. I didn't have it. Sorry. Talk about being unprepared. In the annual catalog, in the envelopes section, here we go. This is what I'm using. The basic white assorted memories and more cards and envelopes. So you get two sizes. So you get the small size and then you get a larger size. So that's where all my card bases came from. Sorry, that's important to my project. And so then I made this one. Envelope's the same, it's just bigger. So you get 10 big cards and 10 little cards in each pack of the note cards and envelopes. So this one is just made, all of the cards are the same, just different color, and they're big. Like, here's the size. That's the two different sizes. They're big. So I think I just put a watering can on the inside. So each one of these ones, I use a different textured embossing folder, but I just did the wheelbarrow. So these are kind of all the same, just different
These
colors.
are amazing. Now, I've
Thank
got
you.
Madeline saying hello. I've got Glenda saying hello, Myrtle, Kirsty,
Awesome.
and Myrtle saying very clever.
Thank you. So I'll just show you just a quick coloring tips, and then I'll show you the envelopes. I think that would be the best bet. So I used watercolored pencils. So when I was making these, I kept to the same color scheme because I figured as a gift set, you know, to keep kind of the same colors. So I only used a handful of colors in them. So these are Stampin' Up! Watercolor pencils. And so I only used those colors. So I used StazOn black because whenever you introduce water, you want to use a StazOn black. So these would not work for the memento. And so what I did, you have like, I'll show you what I think is the most important stamp, and it sounds funny. See this little piece here, this little strip? It's right here. It's a really important piece of the stamp set. So you can use it either way. So you can use it in this direction, or you can use it in this direction, depending on, so this could be flat ground with a little dirt or turf going upwards, or this could be kind of dirt and shadowed. So I'm going to stamp that first.
So, Christine,
Yes.
why is that stamp so important? What does it do?
Oh, you know what I should have done? Let me get a piece of paper. It grounds whatever you're working with. So here, let me show you the difference. I'll do one on just this piece of paper, just the boots. And then I'm going to do the boots to see on top of the dirt. So do you see how this is just floating and this is kind of grounded? So to me, it grounds everything. So like the wheelbarrow,
Yep.
I put it under the wheelbarrow. So it has something to kind of attach. Otherwise, it's just kind of floating. But
Yep.
then you can use this little cute little, um, it's not even a bouquet because it's growing in the ground, little garden of flowers. I put it right inside of the rain boots. So I just have to move it here so I can see. So I have now flowers growing out of my rain boots, which I just think is cute. And then when I color, I'm going to do these ones blue. So I actually found for the pencils, I like to color on a foam mat. And I always, because it softens, you won't have as many lines. And I also color in circles. I'm going to actually leave the bottom of the boot white for a second. And these are kind of light, so they probably need to be darker boots. And you can see I'm not doing a very good job coloring, but that's intentional, which I'll show you. So I'm going to take a brown, because muddy boots. I'm going to put a little mud on the bottom of these boots. And I'm also going to put some mud on the ground here. And maybe I'll even spray a little mud up here on that one. And then I'm going to just do, again, I'm coloring quickly, partly because of the video, but also you don't have to do a perfect job with these pencils because once we blend them together with our blender pens or your Wink of Stella, it all comes together really nicely. I'll show you
Oh,
in
yeah.
just a
So
second.
Karen says she's sticking out. Well, not that you need sticking up for. She says, because it's not a competition, Christine. Exactly. That dirt stamp grounds your
Yeah.
image. Totally agree, Christine.
Thank you,
Glenda
Karen.
says, love the split wheelbarrow car. Would never have thought of that.
Oh, thank you. I'll show that one again. Thank you.
And Karen again said, nifty idea for cards in a fun fold envelope. Beautiful note cards.
Awesome. Okay. So these blender pens are, looks like a catalog right here. They're on the same page, I think, as the Stays On. Again, this is me being unprepared. Uh-oh. Hold on. Here we go. So here's the Stays On ink. And the blender pens are, they're on here, I know. Here they are. You get a 3-pack. So 3 of the exact same pen in the pack, and they have 2 tips on each pen, and they're both the same. So right now I'm just, you can see it's all stained. I'm using that one. That's brand new. I haven't used it yet. So I kind of use one up first, and then I save the other one. So you pick a color to start with. So I'll start with the blues. I think you'll see that one the most. And I'm just going to, again, go in a circle motion. Just for right now, I'm just going to try to stay on the blue because once I touch another color, it's going to blend together. So I want to do the blue first. Can you see how that looks a little bit more watercolored than it did before? I should have put it close
Yeah.
up.
And it really
So
brings out the color.
it really does. So now I'm going to go over that brown a little bit with the blue. And wait till you see it really just brings it all together. And I'll add a little brown up here from mud on the top. So it really blends it all together. And then I'll just soften my kind of lines down here. So now there's some dirt down there. And then after you're done with a color, you just take scrap paper, and that didn't have too much on it. You run it till it's clear, so you'll see it with the pink. Now I'm going to do the pink. And that really electrifies it. And so now there's still pink on there. So you just run it till it runs clear, and then you do the next color. Now I'm doing yellow here, so I don't really have to change it because I've got to do the green, and it's okay if I have a little yellow in my green. And then there you go. So you have this like instant watercolor. If you don't have a blender pen, but you have a Wink of Stella, it works the same way as a blender pen. So you can go right on top of it and it will blend all your colors together, as well as give it, I don't know if you can see, a little glitter. Mine's a little old. And I would do the same thing, run it so there's no ink on there. So that's a quick tutorial on watercoloring with watercolored pencils. So again, I did all my, I'll take pictures and stuff of all of them, but I did all my note cards. Oh, I have one more that I didn't put it. Here's one with some tools. And I put a little dirt just right here. The rest are clean, and I put a little dirt on that one. And I love boots on the inside. But I decided to put 5 in the envelope because you get 10 in the pack, so that's why I did half. So let me show you what I did. And these are, like I said, these are the note cards and envelopes that you get. So those are my extras. And I know I showed you last time with my box, I always make a template. So that's my large template. And that's my small template. And I will tell you, when I was designing this, I went through a lot of paper trying to figure out the right size, but now I have the right size, so that's good. So I'm gonna make a small one, but then I have part of a big one done the same way. Oh no, Anne.
What?
My paper trimmer's downstairs because we were making the garden club project. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm putting you on and I'm gonna get my paper trimmer because I need it.
Idea. Well, I
I'll be right
will
back.
throw me on and I will show what I was going to show at the end of my session. The options of what we're going to do. And I'll show some of the pretty paper that I've used. So while you're gone. Whoops, she's gone. Idea. So the paper that I'm using is called, I think it's called Meandering Meadows. I'm pretty sure I checked that. Yep, Meandering Meadows. And it is, except she put me on. I wanted my desk. That's okay. So we're all flexible. So, oh, they're both the same. So that's the other side. I've got mine scattered. They're absolutely beautiful. They're watercolored. They're hand done by a Stampin' Up artist. I'll just show you a couple more. I'm going to guess that Christine's back after running down 100
hear
stairs.
Me?
I can hear you.
Okay. And actually, I discovered when I took my ear pods out, I can hear you from my phone, so I can leave my ear pods out.
Yeah, I only put it in because I thought mine only put it in because I thought the noise of the
Your builder.
But I will throw back to you now, Christine. And Mary Lou says she's got that paper, and Karen says I like the dirty look on the boots. I agree.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the paper is gorgeous. Like I think it just speaks for itself. You really don't even have to do anything to it except for put it on a card base.
And before you get started, while you just sort that out, Mary Lou thinks the one with the gardening tools is her favourite. And I think you culled that one.
Thank you. I really like that one too. I just, where did it go? Thank you. I'm glad you liked that, Mary Lou. I really liked it too. And that was an afterthought to put a dirty tool in there. I thought that was a good idea. But yeah, they're fun. I had a lot of fun coming up with them and trying to do them a little different. The Chicky was the one I did first and then I just drew the line and I really liked it. And then I said, oh, let's do it. Yeah. And I like that with a split wheelbarrow.
Love that.
So I was trying to play with a lot of negative space that you can kind of see. But the big cards are too big to do that. So, all right. Thank you for your stepping in there. All right. So I'm going to use Smoky Slate as my base. And so the small envelope, again, and I'll post pictures of this. But it's 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. So I'm actually going to, because this is already 8 1/2, I'm just going to leave that there for now and cut my 5 3/4. Make sure I do it right because I only have one piece of paper up here. Mike looked at me kind of strange when I went running downstairs. And then I'm going to take this to 8 1/4. All right, so this piece left, so this is the piece I want. This is my leftover piece that I'm going to cut. I'll show you in a little bit. I already cut them, but I'm going to cut 2 circles, which you need. So that comes out of this piece, so nothing's really wasted.
The really good thing about that pattern is that size pattern fits Australian
Oh, great. Yeah.
A4 because it's
Good.
8 1/4 is the largest piece.
Yeah. Excellent. So it's going to go this way. So I'm going to score the top and the bottom, each just a 1/4 inch. So a 1/4 inch and then a 1/2 inch. So 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to flip it all the way around and do the other side. So 1/4. I played with this template so many times, but I'm happy that I got it right. And then I'm going to score in this way and in this way because it was easier at 2 and 2 1/4. So I don't need this side arm anymore. So I'm going to do 2 inches and then 2 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to flip it around to the other side and do that side. I just thought it was easier than figuring out what the measurements were to just go all the way across. And that way you know they're equal on both sides. So that's kind of my box. So then I'm going to cut off this whole, like including these 2 little squares, and all of that's going to get cut off just with scissors. We need to come up with like cutting music. Sometimes it's quiet when I cut. All right.
I'd sing, but you wouldn't be happy.
All right, so there we go. So the top and the bottom are the same, the sides are the same. So then we're just going to fold on the score lines. So you get kind of, so you can kind of see this part gives it a little thickness for the envelope, right, to put our note cards in. And I'm going to do the same thing on these 2. So you can kind of use this format and adjust to other size envelopes. I'll give you these 2 dimensions, but I'm going to show you I have an envelope, like for us anyways, like what we call a medium size envelopes. Oops. And that fits in the bigger box, but you could even adjust it to make it better. So you can kind of see how this is going to come together. It just closes like that. But I know, we used to buy envelopes that had the roundedness to it. And then this mechanism, I don't really know what it's called. And so I have my
tie.
I guess so. I didn't know if that had a mechanism. So what I used, very end of here, are my deckled circles. So for this one, I use, let's see, I mark them with string so I would know, I could tell you what size it is. So that one.
Thank you, Mary Lou. You at least laughed.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 6 from the biggest going down, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 9th biggest going that way. I don't know which is better. That's the size I used. Let's see. What size is it? Some of them, it's a little under 4. It's just a hair under 4 inches is the one I used for the smaller envelope. So I cut 2. So I was going to cut them in half, but it's kind of nice having that folded edge. And then I'm going to show you how I adhered the ribbon, and so that kind of was nice. So it's really folded. So you could certainly cut it in half and just, you know, cut one circle and use both halves, or you could just fold it right in half like that. And what I used was tear and tape to put it together. So, oh, good thing that my silicone mat's downstairs too, but that's all right. Hopefully this doesn't stick to the paper. This is a trick I learned on some else's video. You could use a ruler. This is just my little scraper, but if you put that on the tear and tape, it tears like that. Do it again because it's really cool. Instead of using your fingers, mine's always crooked, but if you just use some sort of straight edge and it tears, it's nice and straight instead of using scissors. All right, so I'm going to peel the backing off. And the tear tape is just a little bit too thick. So I'm just folding it on itself so it sticks on itself. And then I'm just going to, you just have to see it, taking the folded edge, this is a little cleaner on that side, and just centering it right on the tear and tape. So now it's stuck there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Oop, shoot. Let's put some more tear and tape on there. I didn't seal my backing as good, so the whole thing ripped off with some paper. Now I could use glue, which I normally use on everything, but for the sake of the video, this is a little faster. But the tear and tape actually works out pretty good. And you can peel it off. And if you don't roll that on top of each other, it's just going to get all sticky on the inside. All right, and so that just goes right on top like that. So now you can kind of see we put the cards inside and that closes like that. So again, you could glue them shut. I didn't, but you can. But what we're going to do is take some ribbon and I'm just going to open that up, place that down like that. I'm actually just going to use my tear and tape to seal that down, and I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to, I'm going to rip that piece off. So that stays. And then I need, I used my, this, I could hope put a cupcake on it many years ago, but it's my 3/4 inch circle punch. And if, I don't even know if they make these anymore, but they have plenty of circles. So I just need 2 circles. I'm going to close that. And I have, this is actually old too, just an old foam mat that I'm going to use my, the piercer of my take your pick tool. So it's open. I'll do it this way. You can see the whole thing's open. And I actually purposely put the ribbon off to the side a little bit, not quite in the middle, because what I'm going to do is take one of those circles, eyeball the middle, and I'm just going to poke a hole right in there instead of using a hole punch. And then these are called, what are they? They're in the annual catalog. Round and square brads. So there's black and white, and there's tiny little round ones, and then there's some bigger square ones that I use for the bigger envelope. And just open those up. And I'm going to do this same thing, but not with a ribbon on this side. So I have my little circle.
Sorry, which ribbon are you using, Christine?
I use the lemon lime twist. That's that combo pack from like the Zoo Crew with the petal pink. It's in the annual. It went with the, is that what it's called? The Zoo Crew? The,
Yep.
Yeah. It's like one of my favorite ribbons. Guess I can't get the brads out. There we go. All right. I did think about, rather than attaching this with a brad, of using a dimensional, because then it would make that a little higher for twisting it. But this really secures it down, and I was afraid that the dimensional would just pop off. All right, so, and my ribbon's still attached. So now I'm going to take my note cards and envelopes, put them in, close that, close that, close that, close that, and then you can, however you want to exit around or however you want to wrap them around, and then cut it, and there's your envelope. So
It is amazing.
Isn't that awesome? So you could glue that shut if you don't like it open. I'm kind of okay with it open, but it doesn't matter. And so the only difference with the bigger one, besides the bigger size, it's done exactly the same. But I did want to show you the circles. So these circles are a little bit smaller than this ledge. Like the gray one was really pretty much the same. This one's a hair smaller. So all you'll do is just snip the corners off. So then that makes this a little bit smaller. So when you attach that with the tear and tape, it goes this way. Does that make sense? Then you won't see that. This is being really picky, but you won't see the little edges on the side. So it, you just, otherwise you'd see the little edges on the other side. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does to
Okay,
me.
thank you. So I just used, that was the square one because it was a little bit bigger. Actually, I used the same circle, but a bigger envelope. So it's, otherwise it was done the exact same way, but the sizes, I will post pictures of the dimensions of that. But that's the envelope.
Mary Lou says, so clever, Christine. Love this envelope. I
Thank
agree.
you. Oh, thank you. And this is actually what I wanted to show you too. So this is the same size as the green one. This is a standard, what do you call them, medium size, or do you call them
C6.
what do you, basics?
C6.
C6. Okay, so you can kind of see, like, here's where it fits the width fine, but it's a little bit, probably like an inch or so smaller, but you could still put the A6 or the medium size envelopes in the bigger box, or you could just alter this down just an inch. And so instead of 7 1/4, do 6 3/4. So you could just make, otherwise the scoring exactly the same. So hopefully that makes sense as well. So that's what I had.
Wowzers. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers.
All right. Move over here. All right. So tell me when you're ready and I will put you on.
I'm ready when you're ready to throw it.
All right.
The camera, that is. And could you put me on the desk?
Oh, no, I want to see your beautiful face. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Well, that, got to say, the pressure's on me now and I'm feeling the pressure. But we know it's not a competition, Anne. Remember that. But
I love what you did.
I will say this is fabulous, I think, for both of us, because it gets us out of our comfort zone to do something a little different. And not so much step it up in complexity or whatever, but step it up and learn new stuff and work things out a little different. But I have actually gone back to one of the first cards I have ever made, and I've never made it since. So we're going back 11 years, probably to about this time, 11 years ago. And I made what I would call a shadow box card. So it's perfect for this gorgeous paper that I snuck in. Now I'll put it up so you can actually see how it comes together. It's really a simple design, easy, anybody can do it. Now I have added on this one, because I'm trying to show you probably as many of the stamps and dies out of the set that I can. So I've added the die, the envelope, sorry, the die from the Garden Meadows. And as you see, there's lots of dies here. Now, Christine was guiding before because she was going to show me what this actually does. But when we get to the end, I will run it through. Hopefully, I'll have some paper here somewhere. And she's gonna. She says it's going to be obvious what it is. So we will see.
It's
I haven't even run it through yet.
I think it's obvious, but it's going to take some thinking on how to place it and use it. But you'll see once you cut it.
Yeah, I haven't even used it. I was looking at it last night.
I was going to say, before you start, Mary Lou wanted to know what the flower in your hair was, and
it's a frangipani. So I don't know that you have them in the United States. You certainly have them in Hawaii, which is part of the United States. But yeah, it's a frangipani.
It's very pretty.
If I've got any sitting out. Now, Karen asked me, is this a diorama card? Now, I wouldn't call it a diorama card wholly and solely, because for me, a diorama card has like probably 3 different layers, whereas I've just got the base and also this layer up here. But that's why it's kind of called a shadow box, because you can see I've made a box frame, and the shadow because it's so raised up, and you get that depth on it. So for this paper, which is scenery, it makes it kind of perfect.
It's perfect.
It was. That's why I kind of went with this, and it just went back. I don't know what I did with it. I know I stamped it. It's long when I first did it. But let's get going. So, well, actually, I won't cut that, even though that was on my desk. I'm going to grab, this time I'm changing up colours. So you will see how many different colours go with this paper. And if I look at the colour chart on the back of the designer series paper card that goes with it, there's probably 5, 10, 15, 17 colours.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot of colors.
There is every chance you will have something in your stash that is going to match this. So I'm cutting 2 pieces, which are 6 inches by 5.5 inches. And I'll explain why we get to that measurement, because I've made a whole lot of different cards sizes. And this is a lot bigger than this card here. So I'll just tell you this story. Oh, wait a minute. I was thinking of what I was going to say to you, and it was going to be, well, when you cut these 2 pieces, and I thought I'd cut this, they should be both the same size. And I went, oops, mine aren't. So then I had to go back and measure, and I went, oh, and you just didn't cut the extra piece off.
I thought
I'd cut completely the wrong piece, and I was going to have to start off with another piece of cardstock. So there we go. Yes, they are the same size. Now, for the larger sizes, and you can fiddle with this, is I've made a 1/2 inch, if I could call it a seam. So this is 1/2 inch, and I've also popped it up 1/2 inch, because that makes it really simple. So how you get your measurements is you decide the size of your, I suppose, the base, what's going to be your scenery, and then you come up 1/2 inch and out 1/2 inch. So to get it, you've got to add 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on this side, so it's 2 inches all up. So this part on my new card is going to be 4 inches. So I'm going to score this. I will probably have to rescore it again, which you'll understand, at 1/2 inch. Because it's cardstock, I'm giving it a fair amount of scoring. I can be a little harsher than if it was DSP. Spin it around. Make it easy. So I have 2 score lines, one at 1/2 inch, one at a 1 inch. I'm doing exactly the same on the other piece. Just make sure you're scoring it at the 6 inch mark. Now, why I put the score lines down first, even though I may have to redo them, and you'll understand the why I may, is so I can center the first die cutting that I'm doing. I
That
don't
makes sense.
normally die cut on the, wait a minute, I can't, something's popped up in my screen and I can't see a thing. I don't normally die cut on lives because I have a sore arm, but I'm going to be brave and I'm just putting this out of the way, clearing up my desk a little bit so I can bring the cut and emboss machine. Now why I'm taking the paper away is, as you probably know, is a cut and emboss machine, if they're not secured, I might get rid of all that OCD stuff sitting there. If they're not, oh, I never know how to do this. Not really secured, they'll bounce around a bit. And so having it, I've got it on a silicone mat, but you could just get any non-slide stuff, you know, even drawer liner, and that will work. So the first thing I'm going to do, if I come back to this, as you can see, I'm hoping you can see I've embossed that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I want to emboss it, but I've got to emboss it after I die cut. Otherwise, when I put it through to do the die cut, it's going to flatten all the embossing. So I'm pulling out this gorgeous die, which is like a window. So it was perfect for this. Remember, my cardstock is 5.5 inches, so it will fit through here. I'll grab my plates. So I've still got my old Big Shot plates here. I'll grab whatever's there. So I've got the platform, I've got the thin die adapter, and I've got my 2 plates. So I'll put this on. And I just want to place this right in the center. Now, what I've learned is you don't want, like, have it right up the top, or otherwise this isn't strong enough. So I place it middle side to side and middle top to center it side to side and also top to bottom.
That's a good tip.
Put this through. Now you see where those score lines that I did, and this is why I don't do it. It's a bit, wasn't hard at all. It's only hard for me because I've got a sore arm, not because it really is that difficult.
You need an assistant.
I do, but she's a long way away.
I know she is.
So there we go. So there's a piece I've cut out, and I'm sure I've got a few of these now. I will actually use that.
Those would make great tags. Do you have a to me it almost looks like a door. Do you have a little wreath that would fit on that for like a Christmas tag?
What a great idea. I haven't I've just thrown them into my leftover die cutting box, saying I will use one day. Sometimes I do when I'm struggling. So this time I'm using the exposed brick embossing folder, so it's 3D. So it's perfect for this. And without embossing, I found it a little plain. Yep. But there's so many of our embossing folders that are suitable for this. So I'm just throwing it in. It just fits.
Perfect.
I want it kind of straight. Now I'm trying not to lose any pieces here, which is kind of a little hard. So this time, because it's a 3D, I am just using our platform. Now yours might be purple,
nope.
or it could be this one.
Like mine's gray, but you're right, it could be purple.
Could be either. Made especially. This is going to crack because it's a nice thick one. Now one of my tips, which I haven't done today because I didn't want to muck around with it, is if you're not happy with the depth of the embossing, if you lightly spritz it, it will absolutely rock it, and you'll get a lot better depth.
I always forget that.
Now you can see my folds there, but I am going to redo it just so they fold. It has kind of pushed it out a bit. But without that, I wouldn't have got it as well centered. Just perfect, this embossing folder for this project.
It is. I don't think I have that one actually. And I love it.
I have to say, I do use it.
Although, now I
And
forget,
also,
I might have it. Isn't that awful? I can't remember. I used the brick they had. They retired it last year, and I loved that one.
Oh, right. So I'm just folding back the first fold. So the inside fold, I'm folding back. Now, when I'm using my bone folder, I'm working from what is now the wrong side, because otherwise I'll flatten some of this gorgeous embossing. And I do have, to stop that even happening in the reverse, on my desk.
Oh, Mary Lou, you're funny. I know. Mary Lou says, I'm too young not to remember. I know. Isn't that awful? I can't remember if I have that folder, and I love it. And I think I have it. I'm getting it mixed up with some of the other, because they have a few different distressed folders this year, and that's why I can't remember. It's late.
I'm not even going to buy into this conversation. Now I know. So as you now see, I've done that. Now I just put that there to make sure even this side didn't. I was being super, super careful. So
that
again, I'm folding this one. Folding that one in, folding this one in, and then folding this one over. So now we've done, I think I might have done that one a little crooked. Let's see if I can fix this up.
Nothing like live camera, huh?
I know.
Forgetting a cutting. I just have to get my paper trimmer.
I think it is so crooked that I had to declare that one. Well, I always. There is nothing, well, this is my theory, there is nothing you can't fix. I've even invented Stampin' Up Band-Aids. So that if I use the scoring tool a little bit too much, it means that I can actually repair it. So that's how it's now going to look. I love that shaded spruce.
Mary Lou says, this card is easier to construct than I thought, Anne. Great job.
It's very simple, which is, you know, because I've been trained in very simple in the last 3 months.
Yes, you have.
That's the only time I really am not that good at it. So you can see how it's now going to come together. But we want to work on this side. So my sizing here is 4 inches by 5.5. But I have some folds here, and you don't want your paper to go too close. I've lost my paper, that lovely paper I had selected here.
So you probably moved it when you picked up your machine.
I might have to, oh no, here it is. I'd hidden it. So now I'm going to decide which part of the scenery I like, knowing full well that first off, I'm going to need 1/2 inch off it because it's only 5.5 inches long. So this is my lengthways, but I want a bit of sky, so I'm going to take a little bit off each. So
isn't it so hard to cut that paper?
It does. I kept all my pieces because I've got another project for it.
Oh, good.
That uses all my, all my scraps. So now I've just taken a little bit top and bottom, so it will be the right size, which it is. But then I only want 4 inches. So I'm going to cut a little bit, and you'll understand why I'm doing this. In reality, I want to take 1 inch off either side. So I'll take 1 inch off that side. Now I know I could do 2 inches, but then it won't look as nice. It looks better if I take a little bit off both sides. Now, I want to keep these. That sits there, and this sits here, because I will show you. Now, I'll show you my... Oh, no, this is the first one I made, and I'm hoping you can see in there. Now you can see how I didn't put a liner in that piece, and it looks like it needs a bit, because then that
Oh, I
theme
see. I
runs
see where you're
around.
going. It actually looks
Yeah,
fine, but I see where you're going.
yeah, well, you know, perfection. A little bit of perfection. So see how I've added it on
Because
this side. And
we
then,
know when you take a card out of the envelope, everyone's going to look through it.
well, that's true. Mind you, someone yesterday said to me, who didn't know me very well, said one of my cards wasn't perfect. I went, oh my goodness, I didn't know what to say. Was a little hurt. However, I went, roll with that punch in, and
Good.
it was pretty tricky because I am a little, well, I'm not a perfectionist card making, so it's this side. So
You know
I'm
what?
going, this
Someone,
is going, oh, sorry, Christine.
no, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, someone said to me, and we're very much the same. I think you can all see that. You're not perfect, but you're very precise. And I liked that better. Like, precise is okay. Perfect is not.
Well, it's never going to be perfect because it's handmade.
Right.
But, oh, I went, oh, that, ooh. And I had to really think not to, oh, I want to colour, not to be defensive about it,
Yeah.
to take it on the chin, which, you know,
Hmm.
I'm struggling a little. I
So
still remember it today.
Glenda says, I can see by the video how to do it, but written instructions would take a bit of concentration. I don't even know how you write the directions.
Yeah, that's why there's no directions on this one.
No,
Because,
video
but
is
it
better.
is a simple card. And to be honest, some of the little things that I've added to the card, as we all noticed, we really don't even need.
Right. It's just a
So,
stepped up option.
yeah, it's how to do the, what was that word? If I'm not using perfect?
Precise.
Precise. Well, how to finish it. So
Right.
it's the best you can do. But you don't have to make cards the best you can do. So now I'm just going to slide this up. Now, if this is cut, you know, when you're hand cutting, it may not fit perfectly, but I've got it inside those fold lines, so these will still go in without affecting the paper. But if you had this, this is worked out, but if it hadn't have, just trim it off. Nobody will even know. So then this is, I think this is this piece. No, it's this piece over here.
That's a nice detail.
Oh, I did this wrong. I cut 1/4 of an inch. It's supposed to be 1/2 an inch. So now they're not going to match perfectly, but it still looks okay. See, when I'm talking about being precise, I wasn't very precise at all.
So Mary Lou says, gorgeous color combination with a paper. Yes. And Karen says, I'm a visual learner too. Seeing it made before sure helps. Thankful for videos. I much prefer videos. I can't understand things when they're written. I need to see it.
I think, yeah. I mean, good pickies are always helpful, but this one, you wouldn't ever know. So now it looks a little better. All I'm going to do is add a, oops, go slow. Not too much glue. Seen everybody's been giving it to me lately. I'm using too much glue. Now again, I want to just keep this a little off those things so that folds nicely. Now, then this.
And Sue says, I agree with her. This style of card is a perfect way to showcase these beautiful papers.
I don't know. I must be not watching today. because I can tell some of these aren't straight.
Only you can tell.
I know, but that's the one thing I inherited from my mother. Well, many things, but was a really good eye for straight and also measurements. And as soon as I looked at that, I went, "Ooh,
Oh, stop.
oops."
Yep.
Do you think? It's nearly going to be a disaster. Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Take that off. Oh, no, because your trees, does that line up?
Oh, it doesn't. What's happened? Oh, because I went out a little further.
Yeah.
Because I threw that last little bit out.
You might not be able to tell when it's folded.
Well, you won't, but you'll at least see colour there.
Right.
The idea is to get it consistent. If I hadn't cut that half inch, the quarter of an inch,
Right.
it would have lined up. Anyway, so that one wasn't. I just trimmed that little bottom piece off, so that's okay.
That's when you give to a good friend.
It has to be a good friend. Actually, these don't take long. I mean, in the last time I did these, I didn't add those side pieces.
No, I meant because there was a slight cutting.
Oh, they weren't perfect.
Right.
I know. So, look, there's a number of ways you can do this. I have just found, because normally I do the roll over, but on this one, I just found for some unknown reason, even you could use tear and tape, but I like the wiggle room, the wiggle time, I should say.
Yeah, of the glue, yeah.
Of the glue, so that I can just line it up a little better. There we go. That one's right. This colour is divine.
It's
probably
beautiful.
my favourite colour that I've used when I show you the other one.
Is that shaded spruce?
It is shaded spruce.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's a great color.
That. The colour, I mean, I love it for a Christmas colour.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing the same over here. Then I had to use that stamp set seam. I did commit to this to this bundle, and I thought, so how gorgeous is that?
It's beautiful all on its own.
Yeah. So now I've got a few tricks. So you can see, to get it in an envelope, you're going to place it like that. So that'll easily fit in. And then when you pull it out of the envelope, it'll pop up nicely. So there we go. But let's decorate it. We've still got to add a few things. Now, I haven't actually trialed this one. On this one, I used the die cut of the bridge just with some basic white.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined it and put it around the corner just so it had a bit of interest. I've popped it up a little bit so it looked like the gate was a little open. Then I've just added a basket of flowers and the sentiment from the stamp set. And then I've also added to each of the cards, because I love them so much, and these are called the adhesive back dragonflies and birds. They're gold, they're adhesive, and you just stick them on and they look fabulous.
Beautiful.
So that's the one I've been showing you. But I've decided that I will try. I haven't tried this before because in this set, the dies are under 50 layers. You've got that original die that I showed you, this one here. And then we also have an outline one. This does die cuts the stamp. So the stamp looks...
And I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Have you cut with that die yet?
Yes, I have. I'm about to show you.
Do you know about the notches, the two different notches?
You'll have to tell me because I'm not sure if I know or not.
So if you look at the die in the middle, one has two notches and one has one.
Yep.
So, So one's for the top and one's for the bottom of the fence, because one lines up better. I didn't realize that at first when I used it, and I forget now. I think the top is the one notch, but I'm not 100%.
Well, that's the way I did it. But anyway, I'll show everybody in a second. So that's the stamp set. So I've already stamped this and I've already coloured it. So that's how it works. So I've coloured it with pecan pie to make it look woody. I've got 2 notches at the bottom for
Yep.
there and 1
That's
notch for there.
that's the right way to do it. I was
So it
cutting it
has,
upside down.
yeah, has an appearance of the gates being slightly open. So now this does not go across my opening, but I don't think it has to. I think I can just put it there. But I hadn't tried it with this image, and I hadn't tried it with that. I don't think I particularly like it. What does everybody think? I would go without it, but I will be decided by whoever comments. Love both sizes, but the taller shows more of the beautiful paper. So let me know what you think. While you're thinking on that, I'm going to show you in this stamp set and dies, there's this little watering can, and there's some Wellington boots. Is that what you call them, Wellington boots?
I just call them rubber boots, but they would be Wellington boots.
Yeah, we call them Wellington boots, but probably it doesn't even matter. But if I had of, and you'll understand this, and I'll show you, because both the watering can and the boots face the same direction. I don't like that. Well, it may not suit all your cards. Now, if I had to put that there, and I wouldn't have liked it there, but if I had of, and everyone's voted no, and I agree.
I think it's too much yellow. That's why.
Yeah, it doesn't do it. But sometimes you've got to try these things. This watering can works here.
Mm-hmm.
The Wellington boots work there with that. But I might want something to go on this side, and those Wellington boots look a little strange like that, and the watering can looks like it's watering off the card. So I wanted to turn those around. You can see I've coloured them. And I'm going to show you two ways of doing this. I've got a scrap here. I thought I had bigger pieces. Oh, here's a bigger piece. So I'm going to get, I'll show you the Wellington boots because they're what I'm going to show. There's 2 ways of doing this, but I'm going to grab my silicone mat, which is hiding under my desk here somewhere. I keep piling stuff on top. It's all very neat when I start.
I might too.
Here it is. But then as the session goes on, so I wanted this to turn around. So rather than facing that way, I want it to face that way. So I will show you how I did that, or how I do that. Now I can do the same with the watering can. So I'm just going to, now my mat is silicone mat is pretty clean and flat because I cleaned it up a while ago. Now I've re-inked this. I want lots of ink on this, not what I just did then really quickly. So fair bit of ink. I'm using the Mento Black because I'm going to use blends with it. I'm going to stamp it down like that. Then I'm going to get this, place it over top, and then just use my fingers. I could use the bone folder.
I love this technique, but do you know what I would have done, and yours is so much easier?
No, tell me.
I would have left the paper on the table, picked up the silicone mat, and flipped it on the paper and like a stamp. But yours was much easier.
See, we all have those things. Someone showed me something. Kirsty showed me something, who was watching here. Showed me something on Sunday that was so obvious. I just cannot believe I didn't do it. So now, rather than my boots running like that, they're now facing back the other direction. Now, I want to show you. I can't show you because it's going to involve shifting cameras, but I want to show you. So I want to die cut something like this, but my die doesn't work. So really you want to die over here, but you can't see it. Now I would fussy cut this, to be honest. It's so simple. But what you can do is put this up against a light with the wisp of light, and you can see that shadow through it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can already see it, and it's not even against the light. And then you can line this up. I'm just guessing that that's it. Now this works for complex dies. This is such an easy, but you can see how easy that is to line up, not even against the light. And then, so it doesn't slip, I grab a little paper or washi tape or something, stick it down, then run it through, and then it will work out
Very
like that.
clever.
So that's really easy way. Now they were such simple dies, it wouldn't really matter. Now then I thought I should at least show you how I've got that bit of definition on here. So really simple. I don't intend to make this too difficult. So I'm actually, these are pretty good nick, these blender pens. So I haven't used the grey very often.
I use my grey blend all the time. That's funny.
See, I don't.
I have to replace mine because they're getting a little mushy.
Well, all the other colours have, and I was a little worried. So I'm now using the darker one. The first one was the light one. So I decide, now I want to put dirt on here, Christine. I just want to tell you.
Are you putting
I
brown
love that
dirt?
idea, but let's just imagine dirt. Now I'm just deciding that the darker area is on this side. So what's in a bit of a shadow is there. And I always just put, so it's definition because it's going around, that root is going around, and obviously it goes around to the heel, maybe a little bit more up the top. So there's my darker color. And this is really quick.
Yeah.
I'm no expert blender, and you all will hear me if I just then blend this in.
You have a little brown to your right if you want to throw a little mud on them.
I don't want to steal anyone's really amazing idea. Anyway, so now I want to get, so there's a bit of light shining, you know, kind of on that direction there. Oh, I don't want that end, I want the small end. Now all I use, this is called a color lifter, and I very rarely see anyone use it. And when you first do it, it looks a bit, doesn't look real good, but it lifts a bit of color off. So you kind of get like a little bit of shine and a little bit of detail. So that's how I've done the boots. So we'll leave that there. But I'm going to actually keep the original boot now. I'm not using. Now, I always try a few things. So I tried that and I went, oh, no.
Too much yellow.
But let's try these. But I want to add some flowers. So I've already die cut my flowers. And you'll see how quick I will colour these. I'm just going to use some shaded spruce.
Mary Lou liked your tip on the color lifter. She's only used it to clean up the edges, but she likes your idea.
No. Well, yeah. So I'm, oops. You mean like that, Mary Lou, when someone does that? I'm doing this pretty quick. Now, I always say I don't mind a little bit of white left, so I colour quickly. I'm no artist, but I like the little bit of white because it adds that little bit of texture. I know. I'm going to do the same here. And normally, to be honest, I wouldn't go from one project to the other if I'm blending because you want it still to be a little wet. So there's the leaves done, and I'm going to be adding, there's a lot of yellow in this.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of blue. I didn't bring any blues over, but let's try some blues, and I'm going to try the, oh, I don't know. We might do a bit of each. We'll see. Feeling a little nervous. See what happens. And see, I just do these really quickly. Is that going to work? Yeah, I think that colour's okay. So I'm using Daffodil Delight. the dark daffodil light. We don't have thing now. I don't know why I coloured all the way down here because I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to shove them into the, just going to trim down there. Don't you like that? Shove them in the wellies. It doesn't sound with a lot of love, but it does. So I'm just going to layer these simply at a bit of an angle like that. I'll use my glue for that. She doesn't want to come out now.
I think you left your cap off too long.
I did, and I had it sitting on my desk. So I want these a little offset. Oh, maybe like that. Who knows? And then that will just sit in there. This is, I don't know. Maybe like that. I don't want them straight up like soldiers. And then we'll just add this. And I want to trim that little piece off there. That doesn't pop out.
Cute.
Still moving this. That's a little better. And then I'm going to pop that up with some dimensionals. Then all I've got to do is add a sentiment, which I've already die cut it out. Sorry about the noise. Lucky we're hardy. So how cute is that? Then I've got a little sentiment strip, and I'm going to just use the happy birthday because that. I'm just thinking, I think I'm going to do black. I've got the shaded spruce here, but I think the black is going to look a bit better. Just fits on there. My little sentiment strip comes from the crackers and treats. Whoops. We'll just turn that over.
It's hard to stamp on camera because usually your phone's
hard
like
because
right
I've got it so far. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I've got it so far out in front of me, I can't see.
Yeah.
Let's see if that works a bit better. That's better. So that'll just run along. Now I'm not going to pop that up. I'm just wanting my glue that doesn't work. To make it easy, I'm just going to strip that along there.
I think you were right with the black ink.
There. Oops. Alright, so that'll, oops. My fingers are a little sticky.
Cute.
And then I'm going to add one quick thing, which is this. So I like the butterflies favourite, so I add a couple of those scattered through the meadow.
It really pops
and
up.
we're done.
Awesome.
And
will you show Mary Lou how it fits in an envelope?
I will. Where's my envelope? I even have one sitting on this desk somewhere. Here it is. So there's the envelope. This is a C6, which I'm sure is the Stampin' Up one. They just call them different. So you fold it down like that. Right. Then you're just going to slide it in. Fold it up like that. Making sure you're not catching anything. Then you seal it. If you seal it tight, oh no, it's not even in. Seal it. So push it down and seal it. and it's just standard.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah, so it just fits our envelopes easy.
When you
Now,
take it out,
so
it pops up.
Yeah, I did this one. I've done that one. I've
So
done
pretty.
this one, which was just using the designer series paper. I did this one, which you've seen. And then because I just couldn't help myself, and I thought I was going to win the number of projects competition that doesn't exist, I did one more just in case you've done 4. But I realised I was out of my depth in this competition. And there's number 5. I did a little mini because I love the little mini. It is. I love the little mini.
I love
to be
little
honest.
cards.
And it just tells you so easy. I'll just pop them all up so you can then see how they look up like that. So we're done. I'll drop them back down so you can see how easy, and they are all different designer series papers.
I have a question,
from that same set. You can see how different the papers are.
On the one that says "Thinking of You" on the outside.
Yes.
Did you use the reverse side? So did you cut a separate piece and put it in, or did you use on the back just both sides of the paper?
Oh, it didn't both come out of the same piece.
Okay.
So but it's a different piece, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that is not the back of that.
But you could pick a design that would
could,
work.
But not all of them seem to match that well.
Okay.
You know how normally you can flip over on a Stampin' Up paper and you go perfect.
Yeah.
It's more contrasty than that is.
Okay.
This is coordinated, but it's not the same. They are more contrasting on most of them.
Gotcha.
So thank you, everybody.
Well done. Let's see. Here we go. That one. Well done. Alrighty. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure we're on here. All right. So Karen says, great sizes and cutouts. You are, Mary Lou says, you are both so wonderful and creative. Just love watching and listening to you. Thank you, Mary Lou.
Thank you, fence sitter, Mary Lou.
Glenda says, they are all beautiful. Kirsty likes number 5, the little one, the cute little one. All right. And then I think we're caught up on comments, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'll hand over back to you.
Cindy says, thanks, Anne and Christine. Oh, there's a whole bunch more people on here. Sue says, thank you for sharing your talents. We love to share our talents and our mistakes together. Great. So next, I didn't look at the date. Shoot. Next month, I thought it was cute because you wrote on something that
I know. Thank you. You're going to confess that I can't go 30 days has September, April, June, and November.
I just thought it's still like November 31st. It was cute. So yeah, so we had to do your December 1st and my November 30th because of the cutoff. But next month is December. I forget what the date is, but it's
the 29th.
Okay.
So 29th for me, 28th for you.
Okay, so December 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the 28th for Australia time at 10 a.m. But we'll put that all out there. So we talked a little bit before we went live, and we decided what we were going to do for next time. So actually, I have mine right here. So let me just put my... There we go. So we are able to pre-order things from the, I don't know, what do you call it? I guess the occasions catalog, the 2024 occasions catalog, which Anne will show you the cover. I don't have mine with me. But this embossing folder, it's hard. I don't know if you can see so much, but you can kind of see it on the paper. It's gorgeous. So they're, to me, they almost look like water lilies, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look up what kind of flower they are, but they're beautiful. So we will both use this folder somehow. Now,
the reason why we picked an embossing folder is I know we all throw it in our cut and emboss, roll it through, then use just with basic white and any color, any cardstock, and then just use it as a little bit of texture on the card. I'm assuming, now Christine could choose that option. Any option's fine, but there are so many different ways of using embossing folders. So this is getting out of the box a little bit, thinking outside the box of how to take the most advantage of that embossing folder, because it's 3D and it really, really has depth to it.
To me,
So
that sounds
I'll
like
be
a
really
throwdown
interested.
challenge.
We come up with so many similar things. It's sometimes a little difficult. Then I start to worry.
That's
But
what's
yes.
fun. Well, one of the things that's fun is we do tend to come up with similar projects unknowing, which is part of the fun, because we really don't share what we're doing with each other till we go on live. And so when you saw what I was thinking of doing, it was somewhat similar, not exact as what you did. But yeah, so who knows if we'll come up with the same technique or same type of project, or if we'll be completely different.
Yes.
And I have no idea, because we just decided this about an hour and a half ago. So we'll figure it out. So that's what our next challenge is. And, oh, actually, let me put your screen on, because you have the cover of the new mini catalog. Now, doesn't that look sweet and delicious?
It does.
So this is the cover of the 2024 Occasions catalog that, if I'm not mistaken, will be January, February, March, and April.
Yes, it's through to the end of April.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just giving you a date of when it goes live. So I'm assuming it goes live on the 2nd or the 3rd. I don't think it tells us
It used
on
to.
here. It just says January.
Okay, it used to have the
Tuesday
date.
is Tuesday, probably Tuesday the 2nd.
That would, yeah, that's probably the first day. Yeah, but we'll find out,
Yeah.
and we'll let you all know.
Yeah.
Oh, Glenda says, a long time to wait for all your hints on the embossing folder. Sorry. We don't know what we're making, so we have to wait too.
If you're in our shoes, it's a very short time period to come up with something. But
Yeah.
for me, for something that beats, compliments. That's it, compliments. I'm only joking. We really don't take this. We just joke about it.
Yes.
Ideo. Well, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody,
Right.
and thank you, Christine.
Let me put it on so you can at least wave goodbye.
And thank you. Christine and I will have a laugh about this afterwards. But thank you for joining us. It's been a great morning. I loved Christine's project. So yeah.
And I love Dan's card, because I struggled with what I was thinking of doing. So I will definitely be copying yours. All right. Thank you, everybody who watching live and who was watching on the replay. We love it. We love your comments. We just love stamping with each other and all of you together. So it's hopefully that comes through. So thank you. And we will see you after Christmas. So everyone, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. It's crazy.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Only 25 days to go. Sorry, I got to go. Bye, everybody.
Bye.